The average financial planner is in their 60s. I'm in my 30s. So why in the heck should anyone listen to me about anything to do with finances? Let's talk about it. To start, I didn't grow up rich. I didn't grow up with more than enough. I grew up with enough and learning to get by. I watched my dad work himself day in and day out to build wonderful businesses, but not actually put any of the profit away for himself in the future. I watched good-hearted people, such as my mom, learn valuable trades like teaching and electrician work, and at the same time not be valued for what they could contribute. And at the end of it, I watched friends, siblings of friends, mothers, daughters, fathers, my community fall further and further behind because they haven't been afforded the opportunity to learn how to leverage money like a lot of the elite do. A lot of the strategies that I've learned from my trusted partners are strategies that I guess you could say the top 1% use. Tax shelters, annuities, being able to use different vehicles essentially to make money work for you and continue to grow even after you've spent it. That's the sort of stuff I'm talking about. And I wasn't taught about this. I have been very fortunate that I've had the opportunity to travel and to go to school to learn from incredible people, business owners who didn't go to school and financial advisors who did. At the end of the day, what I've learned is that it's not easy to get ahead. It's not easy to make a lot of money, but it gets easier the more you keep learning, and especially after you actualize the first sum of money, because you essentially teach yourself how to make more money. And it's a lot easier when you learn how to navigate the system itself. Unfortunately, finance is a dirty word, and it's like politics. You don't talk about money, right? You don't want to get vulnerable and expose your thoughts on what you spend or what you maybe shouldn't be spending and more. And at the end of the day, who can you open up to and trust when it seems like almost everyone is selling something, even trusted financial advisors? So I get it. I understand the reservation. I'm not here to force anyone to do anything they don't want to do. But what I see my role as in this community, currently in Sturgis, South Dakota, serving the greater Black Hills, is to provide education and to help people look at money a little differently. Now, a lot of what I talk about isn't novel, okay? Budgeting isn't rocket science, but yet a lot of people have difficulty with it. And once we get through the budgeting, looking at how we can use inefficiently spent money and reallocate it towards platforms that provide efficiency and flexibility and control is really the meat and potatoes of the business. There are plenty of investment strategies that allow people to have access to liquidity, but also grow their money with guaranteed returns and no risk at all. There are platforms that also mitigate risk exponentially and allow for really great returns as well too. And in today's world, I don't feel like business owners and moms and dads and grandparents can afford risk. We just can't. With inflation and the inability for so many people to provide for themselves like they used to, finding extra money is very difficult. And so we need to be very intelligent about how we approach the conversation of building our own wealth and our community's wealth. And it's not one or the other. And that's the beautiful thing about learning and teaching about finance, is that these strategies and tools and things I've learned from other people, they can benefit institutions, they can benefit the people who work for those institutions, and they can benefit the people who benefit from the services of those institutions and organizations as well too. There are ways for the collective to thrive, but we have to prioritize first understanding and exposing ourselves to new ideas. So that's merely what I'm just wanting to talk a little bit about today. can't do something new until you know what it is you don't know. I'm not telling you to do anything, but I would encourage you to consider different ways that you might be able to explore the realm of information you don't know, specifically as it relates to finance. Always my goal is to earn people's trust first, and if I get that, I'm always grateful to earn their business as well. I'm not going anywhere. I grew up in this community. I graduated at Sturgis Brown High School. I have family who have lived here for decades. My grandparents were born right down the street from my office. I have skin in the game in this community. I have skin in the game, and I opened up an office in Sturgis because I believe that enough people want to know what they don't know. Enough people are willing to expose themselves to new ideas because their Edward Jones and State Farm advisors are only pushing them towards standard IRAs, maybe 401ks, and subpar CDs because of the commission they might make. Instead, we need to have real conversations about how to think about money once again, how to leverage money like the banks do, the same money that we give them. I'll end this video with saying that for every dollar that you put into a bank, they turn around and lend that dollar back out up to 7 different times at varying interest rates. But when you ask for a loan, what do you usually get? Do you get a really nice rate, maybe 3 or 4%? Not likely. And furthermore, you're not receiving guaranteed growth on the money you put into that institution. Maybe a 0.25% simple interest if it goes into a savings account, if you're lucky. But at the end of the day, banks are a business, and they are profiting off of you funding that business. So if you could learn how to operate like banks do independently, and specifically this is for business owners, you would be taking the reins back, taking the control back. And if you take the time to learn about some of the other services and products and education that we teach, I think you'll be surprised to know what is out there to help you retain what you've worked so hard for as well too. We're talking tax minimization, this asset protection through trust, and being able to hold on and pass liquidity through the family tax-free as well too. So none of this is rocket science, but you can only learn it if you take the time investing in your understanding of how to leverage and make your money work for you. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.